Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome to a second flight in the FlightFX Piaggio P180 Avanti. A beautiful little aircraft, even though we did have some problems with its flight controls on our first sector. So let's try this one again, and this time we are surely not gonna flip the aircraft over, right? Alright. Follow me inside as we're about to set up for this beautiful flight from Reykjavik Airport over to Akureyri, and my apologies for the pronunciation, which probably is rather off. Alright, so follow me inside. We are going to start this one setting up our gross weight, and we still got to do this over
Runway
the
awareness.
flight
Okay.
tablet. Now,
Meters.
going into here, last time we took a rather heavy payload. This time, let's use a little bit less and just use a single 340 pounds up here for a passenger weight, and then we can head over into the fuel and put something like 80% in here, and that should be it for today's flight. Let's hit load, and we are going to use it this way. Let's also go over to the settings page and then remove the chocks, the instrument covers and the engine covers, and make sure that everything is correct in the rest of the settings, which it is just now. Okay then, let's go ahead and power it up. The battery is coming on, we can turn on the first avionics switch, and then let's see if we can get an ATIS for our airport. So let's get the Navigraph charts. We're in Bravo, India. What is it? Bravo, India... Fox Alpha, I believe? No. I usually only fly into Keflavik, not Reykjavik, so it's Bravo India Romeo Kilo. Here we go. So, taxi chart, please. And here we go. ATIS 128.1. Okay, 128.1.
Transition level 70. Advise on initial contact. You have it as Bravo. Reykjavik is Bravo. Issued at 1410 UTC. Runway 13 in use. Expect lock or RNP approach. Runway 13. Runway 13 condition at 1257 UTC. Condition dry. Weather at 1400 UTC. Wind 080 degrees 13 knots. Kabuk. Temperature 4. Dew point -5. QNH 1025 hectopascals. 3027 inches. Transition level 70. Advise on initial contact. You have it as Bravo.
So, ATIS Bravo is on board. Then we can tune the frequency
Bravo.
for
Issued at 1410 UTC.
Reykjavik control on
Runway
119.7 in order to get our startup clearance. Reykjavik, good afternoon. Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike information, Bravo request startup.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, Reykjavik control, engine startup is approved.
Engine startup approved, Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike.
Advice 32 Lima, Azran, 4 Mike arrival, landing runway 10. When you're ready, descend
Okay,
flight
so
level 100.
we have our startup clearance, so the beacon light can come on. Then fuel flow is working. Alright. Cool. So the doors are closed. Then let's go for it. Engine 1 start. And we have starter cutout. And number 1 is up and running. Generator on, hydraulic pump on. Condition lever into flight idle. And that should give us sufficient power to start up engine number 2. So, engine 2 start. And here we go. That's a good start on engine number 2 as well. So, generator on. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up here.
Later, 5687, report your passing altitude.
So, 3,000 feet cabin altitude. We can reduce that cabin radar climb a little bit down here.
Manufacturer identified radar control. Continue climb flight level 290.
And then both engines into ground idle.
290,
Like that. Position light, fasten seat belts, and then we can go right down into the flight plan. So, we are departing. Let's get the flight plan up. From Bravo India Romeo Kilo towards Bravo India Alpha Romeo. And our alternate is going to be Keflavik, Bravo India Kilo Foxtrot. Our call sign is Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike. So, departures, runway 13. There is no SID available over here. At this point, by the way, thank you very much to the air traffic controller, because I did chat a little bit with him prior to our recording to find out exactly how they handle the departures over here.
And ISO 568 just make it to confirm level 290 unrestricted.
And he was very, very helpful
Yeah,
guy.
unrestricted.
Alright, so
Roger that, unrestricted.
let's go ahead and enter all the routes. It's not that much. November Bravo. And that's it already. So for the arrival, we'll have to see what we are going to get over there. I guess it's going to be an ILS approach into runway 19. And then I suspect that we are going to get clearance for some of those arrivals here. I guess probably a Paxil arrival. So let's just enter Paxil 1 Mike for the time being. So Paxil 1 Mike and then the Alax transition, and that roughly looks like what I'm expecting here. So something like that. Let's go ahead though, take November Bravo and mark that one on the fix page with a 25-mile ring around it, just as a reminder that that's going to be the end of our clearance, that the rest of the route we have inserted in the FMS is actually just made up by us for the time being until we get an ATC clearance for it. Alright then, onto the takeoff page, and let's just bring up the weather again. So it's 080 at 13. The temperature is plus 4 degrees and the altimeter 1025. Alright, it's a dry runway and it has 0 slope. So, rotation at 106, anti-ice off, flaps in the mid position, and we need 511 meters of runway. That's quite good, so let's go ahead and send that over. And that's it then. Okay. So, that much about our basic FMS setup. Now, one more thing that we can do over here is to enter the transition altitude, which isn't all that high, even though we've got to find an approach chart to actually find it out. So, what do we have over here? 7,000. So, 7,000 transition altitude, execute, and that's it. Perfect. Okay. So then, flight director into Toga, QNH 1025. And the initial will be given by ATC, so let's just dial in something like 4,100 in here, and then we check with ATC when we copy our IFR clearance. Alright, so we get a reading of 40 feet on the altimeter, so let's dial up the standby to match that. Here we go, since we only have inches up here. Well, and that's our aircraft pretty much set up for the time being. So let's go ahead and see if we can get our IFR clearance now. Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike is ready to copy IFR clearance to Accuracy.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, clearance to Accuracy, runway 13 in use on the, you'll be on the Elventon 4 departure. Climb flight level 230, Squawk 1373. Information, Bravo is currently QNH 1025.
Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike is cleared to artillery via runway 13, Alberton 4 departure, climb flight level 230, squawk 1373, QNH 1025.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, refact correct, report ready for taxi.
Wilco. Okay, so Alberton 4, that's basically direct to Echo Lima. Climbing flight level 230. QNH 1025 and the squawk 1373. Here we go. And then on our second set we can dial in 1 to 1.5, just for the sakes of being complete here. Come on. Here we go. Okay. So far so good. Then we are basically ready for taxi. Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, request taxi. So 13 is over here.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, taxi to Hong Point from runway 13 via Echo. Clear to cross runway 19.
Taxi holding point runway 13 via Echo, clear to cross runway 19, Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike. Okay, so that's going to be Echo over here, crossing, and then continue via Echo to hold short of the runway. So, lights on, brakes off, let's go. Brake check, brakes okay. Okay, so Echo's gotta be that one over here. Now look at that, runway 0119 is correct, but the sign here says runway 24.
9.
That's of course incorrect, and we're clear to cross.
November 11 Golf Juliet, patch your message.
Right, clear on the approach.
We're getting light to moderate turbulence 400, moving descent back to flight level 380.
November 11 Golf Juliet, that's not a problem. Please send flight level 380.
Alright, descent to 380, number 1 Golf Juliet.
Alright, so we're crossing over here, and then entering and continuing via Echo over here. Okay, perfect. So, next up we're going to hold short of runway 13. And over there we can do the run-up.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike. You can backtrack and line up runway 13. Report ready for departure.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, backtrack and line up runway 13. Call you ready for
Approaching
departure
13.
Okay, clear to enter 13. Strobe lights are on. Well, then we are going to do the backtrack and the lineup, and once we're done with that, we will do the engine run-up. Okay, approach area is clear. Can't see anything to the left at this angle, so we've got to trust ATC for
On
that
runway
one.
31.
Checked.
300 meters remaining.
Yep, that is known. And intentional. You will notice RAS tells you on runway 31 rather than runway 13, because it always gives you the runway into the direction that you're facing.
Meters remaining.
Yeah. We, of course, go to the full length. Okay, so lining up over here, trying to waste as little runway as possible,
Climb flight level 370.
because we don't have all that much of it available.
On runway 13.
Check. And stopping over here.
Alright,
Alright, parking brake is set, then let's check out the systems. So, everything looking good over here, and down here, and down here, and over here we've got to set our takeoff trim. I'll set it to as far nose up as possible here, after the experience we had on our last takeoff. So, with that, let's go ahead. Condition levers full forward. Let's wait for the engines to stabilize. So, nav mode is already armed for departure. Engines are stabilized. Let's bring out to 2000 RPMs for the run-up. So that's looking good. Then we can do the overspeed test. Looking good. Auto feather. Looking good. You can see AFX coming on. And that's it.
Eldorado 32 Lima, continue descent altitude 5,000 feet, Captain QNH 1024.
So with that, we are pretty much ready to go. One last thing, transponder coming on, and here we go. Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, ready for departure.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, 720 degrees 13 knots, runway 13 clear for takeoff.
On runway
13 clear for takeoff. Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike.
On runway 13.
Okay. Parking brake released, into the brakes. Let's set takeoff thrust. And we gotta do that carefully, because we want the absolute maximum. But of course we don't want to overspeed the engines. Well, that's about everything we are gonna get. So, timing, brakes released. A little bit of aileron into the wind. Knots, checked. Rotate. Come on, airplane. Yeah, this is definitely something they've got to work on. Positive climb, gear up. Okay, direct to Echo Lima. Don't want to overfly that church down there. So according to the local noise abatement, they want us to clear at least 1,000 feet as quick as possible. I mean, it makes sense when you're flying right over the capital of a country. And here we are. Now we can accelerate. So, flight level change, speed 160. 165. Okay, flaps 0. That strange sound you hear occasionally, by the way, is the trim. Alright, and here we are. So, nice rate of climb, totally love it. The Avanti really has power and you absolutely feel that. Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, passing 3,300.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, main French identified radar control.
Alright, that's pretty much everything there is to it. So, Keeping a good eye on the engines over here, making sure that they don't run into any of the limits. So, auto feather off, prop sync on. Okay then, everything is clear on the left. We might encounter a little bit of icing here, so anti-ice on. I'm still doing a little bit of manual flight here, because once it is in the air, the Avanti actually flies really nicely. It really is a joy to fly. Only the rotation is a little bit, yeah, not a little bit, but really problematic. I have to say that after my last video I had a couple conversations there, and some people said like, well, that's due to FS 2024. Because remember guys, the aircraft is officially not compatible yet, even though they do provide it in the simulator. You can download it there already. Which is by design from the developers, of course. Now, what is worth to point out here is I tried the same in 2020, and in 2020 as well I do have some issues with the rotation, so this is not a 2024 exclusive problem. Okay, set standard. Standard cross-check, passing flight level 7.2. Now, checked. Okay, so here we are on a nice track, then autopilot on, and this time you're not gonna flip us upside down, my friend. So a little light coming on from the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and get our sunshades down. Actually, you don't just have the sunshade over here, you can also put up the sunshade over there, which really is a little bit more effective if you ask me. That's a really nice feature to be able to hang these things into the window. I like that very much.
Automatic 360, we're to 10 knots to 3,000 feet device, non-ax cleared, left into approach runway 1.
So, our routing is pretty much just straight ahead. Even I can probably fly that one. But I don't really see the need for the weather radar today, since we can't see anything outside. But nonetheless, I'll put it up on the primary flight display, then we can still have the terrain on the multifunction display, which is definitely the, let's say, more relevant thing for our flight. So with increasing altitude, our torque is going down, so we can add some power again in order to bring it back up. Kinda like this. Alright, passing 10,000, lights are off. I'm gonna wait with the fasten seatbelt sign until we are absolutely clear of this turbulence over here, which I'm not 100% sure is actually going to clear for the entire flight. I have a feeling we are probably going to have some of that turbulence for the entire flight, but why don't we just have a quick look into our flight plan to verify that. Yeah, people are reporting turbulence as well, but if we look into the significant weather chart, there is actually nothing in here, so... What are you doing? No, web browser. No, according to the significant weather chart, there shouldn't be anything up here. So that's alright. Well, we'll see. Let's just climb up higher and see what we're eventually going to encounter. Cabin pressure is... Alright, the cabin altitude is actually all the way up already. That was easy. Probably not so nice on our ears though. Okay, we can get rid of that IFR clearance down here. Okay, so let's see. If we go down here into the MFD menu, let's get rid of that VNAV window, because we don't really need that for now. This is all we need. Now here's a question for you guys. Let me know. when you bring up this route overview on your MFD, we can see that the times calculated down here are based on the current ground speed of the aircraft. Is that the case in the real aircraft as well, though? I suppose this question can be answered not just by P180 pilots, but also by anyone flying the ProLine 21. Because I find it a little bit surprising that you get, you know, completely incorrect times there, even though the FMS has all the information it needs on the VNAV page. Because up here it knows our target speed, it knows the cruising altitude and the Mach number we plan to fly. So it's a little bit surprising to me as someone flying the airliners, which definitely would give you correct estimates there and not do anything based on the current ground speed. But that's just a question that I've been wondering about, where I hope that anyone who does have experience with the real unit can actually give me an answer there. Okay, so we're established in a nice and safe climb. It is getting a little smoother right now, even though I'm not 100% convinced yet if the turbulence is over. But nonetheless, we want to get some lunch service up, so let's get ourselves some dinner and let's bring it into an executive configuration back there. And most importantly, let's put on the active noise reduction, shall we? That just makes our lives so much easier. Alright then, so let's just go a little bit further to the back and take a seat somewhere over here with some lovely nice meal while we're enjoying the views outside. Let's also get that headrest up. And just enjoy those views over here. It's kind of interesting. Imagine if you're chartering this aircraft. You look at the wing, you may not have looked when boarding, and you're like, where's my propeller? This looks strange. But overall, there is a lot of reviews available online saying how quiet and comfortable this cabin is, because the propellers are located so far away from your usual location or from their usual placement. You have a lot less vibrations, you have a lot less noise, and aircraft owners seem to be really happy with the P180, which is ultimately anything and everything that matters. So let's see what you guys are working on over here. Anything interesting on that laptop? Teams, Edge? Nah. What's that? What's that one down here? I'm trying to search if there is any Easter egg or anything in here, but doesn't seem to look like it, huh? Well, ultimately, if you're on a flight like this and you're just looking inside here onto your laptop rather than enjoying the amazing views outside, that's kinda your fault, isn't it? So, quick check of our flight instruments. Can add a little bit of power once again. So remember what I told you on our last flight, that with increasing altitude, the limit is no longer going to be the torque, but eventually the ITT. The maximum ITT we can take over here is 820 degrees. As we're climbing it, the NG is becoming higher and higher. We will eventually no longer be limited by torque, but by the ITT, and then we have to reduce our torque in order to keep the ITT below 820. I don't think we're going to run into that on today's flight, because we are just going up to 23,000 feet, but it definitely is something to keep in consideration when you are cruising all the way up at flight level 410, which this aircraft is perfectly capable of doing. Now, one thing you might have noticed is that our rate of climb isn't all that great. Doing about 1,300 feet a minute over here, and that's even though we have temperatures below ICAO standard atmosphere. It really isn't all that warm right now. The aircraft simply suffers a little bit from, well, the turboprop engines. We can just call it by its name, right? So the one thing that eventually does get limiting on an aircraft like this is the speed at which the propellers can turn, and that's without the tips of the propeller going supersonic. So that's what's usually limiting your propellers. Now, in the lower atmospheres, those propellers are really good because they produce a lot of thrust at low speeds.
Landing runway 19 at Akineri. Once you've got that in, proceed direct to Pexil.
Direct to Pexil, Pexil 1 Mike arrival, landing runway 19, or Oscar Echo Juliet Mike. Okay, so why is it climbing that quickly? Let's do vertical speed here, only have 1,000 to go. And then the Pexil 1 Mike arrival is in there already, direct to Pexil. Here we go.
Device 32 Lima, welcome to Cockpit, taxi via Mike, November 1.
Okay, so with that in, we can remove our entry on the fixed page, as we now have a clearance all the way to our destination airport. And then here we are up at cruise level. Looks like we are clear of any potential icing conditions, so anti-ice off. Here we go. So, prop sync is on. Why did our torque increase that much all of a sudden? I didn't touch anything, I promise. That shouldn't happen. So, let's see. Looks like it was just for a very short time. Our engines are still undamaged. Just to show you what I talked about in the last video, that the aircraft is really going to be resilient to exceedances for short times. It's only if you keep those exceedances in the long term where you really start to run into problems. Okay then, so let's reduce our engine RPMs down to about 1800. So, yeah, 1805 is fine with me as well. Prop sync is on. So, let's get the torque up a little bit. Not too much though, we don't want to get an exceedance. So around 89 torque at 1,800 RPMs is normally quite alright. Even though I have no idea why it went to 1880 RPMs now. That doesn't seem 100% accurate just there yet. The prop levers shouldn't cause such big changes here. I don't know, something probably needs a little bit of improvement there. Okay, true airspeed down here, 310 knots. At flight level 230. Looking pretty good. Well, and then let's bring up our VNAV page down here, because it tells us our time to the top of descent, which is 7 minutes at the moment. Okay, so let's go for the Navigraph charts, and we're going into Bravo India Alpha Romeo. Latest weather over there, 130 at 2, Kavok, -2 degrees, QNH 1032. Let's pre-select that. So 1032 is pre-selected. So runway 19 is already confirmed by air traffic control. Then let's go ahead and check the Paxil 1 mic arrival. So from Paxil, above flight level 100, we continue to waypoint 701 above level 80, and then RLAX maximum 230 knots and above 6,000. And if we look into the lax patch down here, we have Paxil level 110. Actually, that's 110 above, isn't it? Yeah, sure is. So let's change that. So, flight level 110 above. Any changes to the top of descent? Yeah, a couple of miles, so it's now 8 minutes to our top of descent. That's quite okay.
The 85 minus.
Alright, waypoint 701 above 80 and then RLAX above 6,000.
When you're ready,
Do we have a transition altitude on here? No, level by ATC, that's all it says. Latest frequency 136.2. Let's see if we can receive anything on there.
100, we'll start descending around 40 miles.
Roger.
So, 136 decimal. Come on. I turned my mouse a little bit too quickly. 1362. For some reason that I'm unsure why they did that, we are unable to monitor COM2 though. Okay, so we are actually not receiving any ATIS here. That's fine, back to 1 to 1.5. Nothing we can do about it then. Okay, so from there we have an ILS approach to runway 19. That's gotta be that one up here. Rather complicated missed approach. I can see that that window is rather long here. Okay, so 110.5, final approach course 183. 105, 183 will be set automatically, and the minimums are on a dedicated chart over here. So here we go, straight in landing. We are perfectly capable of a 5% go-around gradient. Category Charlie aircraft indeed, so 710 is going to be our minimum. And here we go. Perfect, so that's set. Then let's go down into the FMS, performance, approach, temperature -2, QNH 1032. It doesn't happen too often that we've got such a high QNH up here, that's really great. So, let's just take runway condition wet with a slope at 0, and the wind was, I believe, 1302? Yeah.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike. When you are ready, descend flight level 110.
When ready, descend flight level 110, Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike. Set. And flight level 110 checked. 5 more minutes to go till our top of descent, that's fine. Okay, so VREF and VApproach are checked, and the ice off seems correct. Landing factor 1.25 gives us 857 meters required runway length. Let's send those speeds to our PFD. And then we can have a look onto the charts and have a look at the taxi charts down here. So landing runway 19, we're going to vacate the runway to the right hand side, and then most likely to the south apron, I guess, parking somewhere in front of the control tower over here. And I guess that's pretty much going to be our arrival. So with that, everything is set. The main threat today is the terrain, with the highest MSA at 6,600. Temperature -2, so temperature corrections necessary. That actually adds some 600 feet. So if we take 7,500 as MSA, then we are basically going to be safe. And that's anywhere around that runway. Okay, and that's that part. For the arrival, Paxel 1 mic arrival via the on-off points onto the final approach. And the minimum for this approach is 720. Actually plus 70 feet of cold temperature correction. We've got to increase that to 780. Okay, and that's now set. Perfect. Well, and that's our approach. Now for the go-around, let's have a look. We continue straight ahead via the on-off points through the valley, and initially going to climb to altitude 7,000 feet. We'll have to liaise with our traffic control if 7,000 is going to be fine, or if due to the cold temperatures they want us to climb to an altitude of 8,000 instead. Let's see if there is any minimum temperature on here. I wouldn't be surprised if there is, but it actually doesn't look like it. Okay, no minimum temperature. Yeah, then we'll talk to ATC if they want us to climb to 7,000 or to 8,000 in case of missed approach. Alright, that's fine. I can live with that. Beautiful aircraft, isn't it? I really like the Avanti. That completely strange configuration just has its very own charm, doesn't it? So let's get back inside. Crossing the top of descent, 1 minute to go. VNAV is armed. We are already clear to descend. And here we go. VNAV is coming alive. Then let's set our landing field elevation, which is basically 0. And the cabin rate of descent to something decent here, like 300 feet a minute or so. Making it much, much easier on our ears. Okay, the seatbelts are still on, and then we're leaving flight level 110. So prop sync is off, otherwise I'm 100% sure that I'm going to forget about it at a later point. So, let's see. Beautiful looking, isn't it? Let's see, we can't really seem to be able to see our destination yet, or is it down here? Maybe. That could already be the valley we're looking for. I wouldn't be surprised.
Greenland 35 Golf, we are ready for engine start.
Greenland 35 Golf, engine start on the cruise, report ready for passing.
So, I'm simply leaving the power as we're descending. Gotta have a look at the torque though, since with decreasing altitude our torque is normally going to increase at the same power setting, so we've got to have a good look that we don't over-torque the engines on our descent. And I think our destination is going to be just over here. Maybe. But we'll see. We have a little bit of time to find out about that. So, the destination QNH is 1032. The transition altitude is 7,000 feet. Since we don't have an Atus, we don't know about the transition level, but I'm just gonna head over into the VNAV page here and enter something about 8,000 or so. Normally, should be something about that. Here we go. So removing a tiny bit of power because we are getting rather quick here at almost 300 knots, and we definitely don't want to overspeed the aircraft. We just have a shiny brand new Piaggio 180. Most certainly don't want to overspeed it and bring it back into the hangar on our second flight, do we? So, pressurization is coming down nicely. Let's increase that rate slightly. So that's definitely got to be it, right? So we go straight for another 6 miles, that's somewhere over there, and then make the left turn, yeah. That's most definitely it. Good that we can see everything. That's going to make our landing a lot nicer. A lot nicer. So it is getting turbulent again. You can see I am gradually reducing our speed. I'm kind of thinking if I should just reduce my speed towards 250 now already to make it a little bit nicer with that turbulence, but on the other hand side, our guests want to get where they want to go, so let's just keep the speed up for a little bit longer and then we can eventually still start to reduce. We're approaching Paxil now, gotta be above 11,000 over there, and that's still above the temperature corrected MSA, so we can continue flying along here and turn onto the arrival. 8,000 is also above the temperature corrected MSA, and Arlux then is going to be slightly below it, but let's worry about that when we actually get there. Overall we can see everything, so I'm really not worried about that part. Okay, so that's Akuri down here. So that's gotta be our airport, I believe. So the approach leads in over here, and looks like there is actually a vessel right on the final. There wasn't note about that on the approach chart. So we'll have a look out there and see if the obstacle surface is actually penetrated. I could probably imagine so.
B5 Golf Taxi on point
approaching.
Runway 27 report
Check.
departure.
Roger, holding point runway 27, green land.
Okay, let's start to reduce our speed a bit.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, continue descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Oscar Echo Juliet Mike. Set, and 80 tracked. So, speed's coming back towards 250. Nice and smooth here again. And it looks like he's simply descending us along the arrival, making our life easy. So, speed 250, that's looking good. It's looking gorgeous, isn't it? Such a cool aircraft. It really is. Okay, approaching level 100. Lights on, signs on, and that's it. So we're now doing 1,400 feet a minute.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, continue descent altitude 6,000 feet, auxiliary QNH 1032.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike, descent altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1032. Okay, 6,000 blue. And 1032 is in here. Now, again, the bug, when I'm trying to press the arrow button, it doesn't transfer the QNH. That's certainly an issue. They have linked it to the transition level down here. So if I increase that to, let's say, 100 now. You can see then I can transfer the QNH, but that's a rather strange one. Okay, so we're going down towards 6,000, and out of 6,000 at Arlux, we are going to start the ILS approach. So it just dived a little bit for that path, therefore the speed got a little higher.
Oscar Echo
Correcting
Echo
for
Juliet
that.
Mike via RLAX, cleared ILS approach runway 19, descent with the procedure.
Oscar Echo Echo Juliet Mike via Arlux, cleared ILS runway 19, descent with a procedure. Okay, so he's making his life simple. I mean, that's what I would do as well. So, we do have all our constraints visible up here. Let's see. I also quickly want to bring him in over here. Speed, Alt, Airport. And do we have a missed approach path as well? No, we do. And the range to altitude selection. And I suppose we can bring the same in over here. 1,000 to go. So speed limit 230 over at Arlux. Let's reduce our power in order to meet that speed limit.
And the 105 cleared on the Mamet 1 November arrival, landing runway 19 at Aguirre. When you're ready, descent flight level 1.
So out of Arlux, we're descending 4,800.
Mama 1, Mike arrival, and then ready, descent flight level 12.
Auto feather is armed.
November 11 Golf Juliet. You can contact Moncton Centre 132.2.
So 220 knots. Perfect.
From Moncton 132.2 for 1 Golf Juliet. Thanks very much. Have a good weekend.
You too.
The glide slope is coming alive. We're slowly flying into it. It's now a straight tailwind here, 14 knots. That means when we're getting into the valley, the left side is going to be the turbulent one, the right side is going to be the safer one.
335 Golf Roger, surface wind 040 degrees, 13 gusting 23 knots, runway 27 clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 27. Greenland 354.
Approaching the glide slope now, and we're going below, or we're passing 490. The next altitude is going to be 4,200 then. And that's set. So you may continue your descent, my friend. Interestingly enough, it's still on V-alt. There is no reason for it to be there. So let's do vertical speed. Just mimicking the path over here, 1,300 feet a minute is required. So 1,300 feet a minute is exactly what I'm giving the aircraft. Let's get the speed down towards 180. Okay, so descending 3,600 and then approach armed. Vertical speed, let's mimic the glide slope here. And we're down at 170 knots. Flaps mid. Speed checked. Alright. Time to remove the... Yeah, you don't need the gear warning, my friend. You're doing well. Right, local outer and glide slope capture.
85 Mike Zulu.
Man, that
Continue descent altitude 5,000.
multi-wheel acceleration here is a little bit excessive, maybe.
Continue to
So, 7,000 feet set.
1024, AG 85 maximum.
And we are nicely established. Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike, established. Alright, gear down. Flaps full.
Echo Juliet Mike, sorry, did you say something?
Hey, film, we're established ILS 19, Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike.
Echo Juliet Mike, roger, surface wind 180 degrees, 4 knots, runway 19, clear to land.
Runway 19 clear to land, Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike, and confirm in case of missed approach, do we need to apply temperature correction?
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, confirm, so if you climb straight ahead, sorry, let me just look at the charts again, so, 1 second.
In other words, yes. But now it's ATC's problem, and no longer ours.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, if you climb straight ahead, just over 6,000 feet.
Straight out to 6,000 feet, Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike. Okay, 6,000 is set, and that's now up to ATC, so not our problem. We can see the terrain, we ensure we don't fly into it. Okay, flight director's off. So we have the flaps full and the landing gear is
Control, good evening.
down. Lights on, landing checklist complete.
Function to Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo.
That's just looking so cool, isn't it?
Stand by for
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, landing clearance cancelled. Continue approach, I've got a aircraft which I've been contacted, which is on the runway.
Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike, continue approach runway 19. Oh, lovely. Of course now someone logs on. Why do I get the feeling that we're actually going to fly that missed approach? Well then, let's make a bit of noise, maybe he can hear us. Okay, so we see the cruise ship just in front of the runway down there. So, yacht Emperor off.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, surface wind 1 direction 180 degrees 4 knots, runway 19 clear to land.
Runway 19 clear to land, Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike. Okay, so second attempt. Yeah, looks like the guy has just taken off in front of us.
Easy 85 Mike Zulu, continue descent altitude
Approaching
3,000.
19.
Check.
Cleared ILS Zulu approach runway 10.
That's lovely scenery out there, isn't it?
Continue descent to 3,000 feet and wide. Cleared ILS runway 10, ILS Zulu, VT 85 max.
Looking fantastic! And I'm already getting low on the approach because I'm not paying attention.
ICE 74 Alpha, apologies for the delay, are you ready to copy?
ICE 74 Alpha, ready to copy.
ICE 74 Alpha, clear to Brussels.
So, staying right on the poppies, ignoring the glide slope here.
Line, unrestricted, flight level 290.
Beautiful approach. Really is. Okay, power idle. Shallow flare.
With Oscar 1 Bravo departure, runway 10.
And
Long landing! Long landing!
no, we are right within the touchdown zone. Relax.
For Alpha, read back correct, Catholic QNH 1024.
Kenneth 1024, thank you.
Right, we don't want to take the first, but the second exit.
Control, good afternoon. Speedbird 242, so we'll be climbing to flight level 370.
Speedbird 242 to regular control, good afternoon. I don't have a flight plan for you. Can you just check that?
So this was right within the touchdown zone. This was obviously not a long landing.
Speedbird 242.
Okay, ANR is off. And for some reason, there was no second exit, was there? Well, then we've got to backtrack. So let's turn it around.
On runway 19, 400 meters remaining.
2357, Speedbird 242.
On runway 01.
Okay, so that was 43 minutes in the air. Man, that was pretty long. Okay. Flaps back into the mid position, landing lights to taxi, recognition lights off. And that's it. So let's see if we can see the correct taxiway this time. Because I had in my mind that we had to vacate the second to the right. Only saw one. Unless they didn't clear the other one of the snow, but then we should still have had the runway markings, but whatever.
Easy 85 Mike Zulu, fully established 10.
Easy 85 Mike Zulu, phoning thanks, surface wind 080 degrees, 18 knots, runway 10, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 10, easy 85 Mike Zulu.
Speedbird 242, confirm passing flight level and confirm waypoint you're heading to.
Alright, so vacating, getting the aircraft beyond the runway, that's the important point over here.
Yep, currently at flight level 10, heading.
And here we are.
And
Alright, perfect. Stall liters out, windshield heat out, and that auto feather out. Right, the cabin is depressurized, and that is looking perfect. Anti-collision light down to ground mode. That's it. Oscar Echo, Echo Juliet Mike, I'm vacated.
Oscar Echo Juliet Mike, stand of choice, thanks for flying.
Stand of choice, thank you very much for controlling. Excellent service today. See you.
Cheers, thanks.
Alright, we're gonna vacate the runway over here, and we'll probably take stand number 3 over here. Or actually, we'll go all the way straight, and then taxi in front of the hangars. That's probably better. Come on, get around that corner, please. Maximum wingspan 15 meters. That should still be fine for the Avanti, even though I've got to admit I don't know the exact wingspan of our aircraft just yet, but that hangar over here, that looks cozy, doesn't it?
I've got here Hotel 6414 to confirm.
yeah, that's correct. Hotel 6414. Speedbird 242.
Speedbird 242, many thanks. Proceed direct. Hotel 6414, climb flight level 390.
So Hotel 6414, what they're talking about on the radio there, that is actually a half-degree waypoint, so they are going to 64.5 north, 14 degrees west. Alright, so parking brake is set, then avionics come only, EPU off, generators off. Okay, feathering the engines. Let's give them a little time to run down. And shut down. Engines running down, waiting for the props to stop. Here we go. Fasten belts off, anti-collision off, position lights off. Fuel off. Well, And with that, battery off. And that's it. Welcome to Akureyri. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. And I'm, as always, very much looking forward to it. Last but not least, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you all again on the next one.